Medieval Dynasty is a stunning open-world survival and town management game developed by RenderCube. This game released in early access in 2020 and got a whole lot of positive attention, with a full release to PC occurring in 2021, and as of a few days ago, is now available on Xbox and PlayStation. You play as a young man named Razimir, a peasant boy who has just lost his family and home due to the war. It's kind of like Kingdom Come Deliverance if, instead of avenging his parents, Henry decided to just build a town. So after the loss of your parents, you set off towards a distant town in the hopes of finding your last surviving family member, only to find out that he also died a number of years ago. A local man gives you some advice, pointing out that any free land is yours for the taking and that you could, in fact, build your own little town. I mean, sure, why not? From that point on, it's really up to you what you want to do. I mean, ideally you'll start building a town, but that's completely up to you. There really is quite a lot to do in Medieval Dynasty. To give you a bit of an idea of what you'll be getting up to, I'll be going through the town management aspect, survival, open world exploration, and quests. In its core, Medieval Dynasty is a sandbox town management game. It's by far the main focus here, although the extent to which you choose to take it is really up to you. Every single thing from where you choose to build your town, what you build, how you decorate it, the people you ask to join you, it's all up to you. Your town is yours to build how you see fit. After a few words with one of the locals, you'll begin by building your very own home, which takes you through learning the basics of tool making, collecting resources, and of course, building. So as you start placing different buildings, such as workshops, hunting cabins, or plots for farming, you'll start unlocking new things for you to do and craft. Keep in mind that Medieval Dynasty is incredibly grindy. You'll need endless amounts of sticks, rocks, straw, and logs, as these are the main resources used to create buildings, and you'll spend a big chunk of your game time collecting these items. As you grow in size, you'll be able to invite people to come live with you in your settlement. There you will need to have a home that they can live in. You'll also need to supply enough food, water, and wood for them to survive, and you can also assign them jobs. Different jobs that you assign people will require certain tools or items so that they may do their job. But once you get the hang of it, you'll no longer need to hunt for food or grow your own crops, so it all becomes much easier. You'll get skill and technology points from doing various tasks. The technology points unlock more buildings and make new crafting blueprints available for purchase, while the skill points can be used to improve your gameplay by doing things such as reducing damage, stamina loss, or how quickly your tools will break. I found money quite difficult to earn, which did improve over time, but not to the point where I was able to afford many things, including a horse. So I'm still working on that. This game really makes you work hard. Luckily though, the game offers a solution. Most things can be crafted in lieu of you having to purchase them, so it's just up to you to figure out how to craft it. I personally found the best way to earn money in the beginning was to find something that can be easily crafted and sell a lot of it. It wouldn't be a medieval dynasty without the dynasty. Not only can you marry and have children, but you can then continue on as the children. I've personally never experienced that in a video game before, excluding The Sims, so I thought that was really cool. While I did appreciate these details, the whole finding a wife aspect I found less impressive. None of the women stand out from each other, they all have very bland personalities, and I didn't find the process to woo them very exciting, just selecting flirty conversation options which became very repetitive. You'll need to fulfill your hunger, thirst, and maintain your temperature to keep yourself alive, just as you do for the people living in your town. I never found water to be an issue, as rivers and streams are found basically everywhere, but hunger can be a bit more of a challenge, especially at the start where buying food isn't an option and your hunting skills aren't great. Eventually, you'll be able to have the people in your settlement get the food for you, but in the meantime, you'll need to hunt for yourself. I actually quite enjoyed the hunting, especially because of the ragdoll physics. If survival isn't really your thing in video games and you just want to focus on other aspects, you can actually turn this off in the game settings. Yet another great example of the freedom that this game provides. As for temperature, if you can afford to purchase some warm clothes before your first winter, I recommend you do so. Otherwise, you'll be spending a lot of time crafting many torches to keep yourself warm during the cold season. Luckily, they're easy to make. There's a very large open world at your disposal to explore to your heart's content. Nowhere is off limits and you'll find a nice variety of different environments. The world is riddled with animals. There's wolves, deer, bears, various birds, rabbits, boars, and more. Some will run away and some you'll need to run away from. You'll need to be careful when you explore because it's incredibly easy to lose your life to a boar, let alone a wolf or a bear. Luckily, the game autosaves quite regularly, so dying isn't really that bad, just slightly inconvenient. Aside from the wildlife, you can also come across abandoned camps or broken carriages, which I implore you to search as they always have a few items laying around that you can sell for some good cash. There is a story component past the beginning of the game, but it is optional. The main quests offer a sort of guidance for what you can do to progress in your town building. There are 10 chapters guiding you from building your very first house to siring an heir to continue on with your legacy. It's very helpful but never offers quite enough detail when you're new and starting out, but it is a good thing to follow when you have no idea what you're doing. There are also other story quests that you can do, following the story behind your dead relative, as well as some other interesting characters. You'll also get little random side quests that pop up from strangers across the land, your own kin, and people living in your town. By far, my biggest gripe with Medieval Dynasty is that there is no voice acting. It really takes away from that immersion aspect that I think the game has done so well to build. Not only that, but the stories are very text heavy and I didn't find it engaging at all. I always enjoy learning the stories in quests so that I can really appreciate and understand what's happening, but I found myself constantly skipping through these conversations as there was just way too much to read. Onto graphics, and I mean, you can see for yourself, it's a very good looking game. From thick, dense forests to rocky mountaintops and beautiful lakes. While the towns may be basic in nature, the detail put into the environments is beyond what I was expecting. The way resources like sticks and stones are scattered has such a natural feel to it, shadows on the ground are so detailed, even the wood you chop from trees has many unique shapes. A change of season in Medieval Dynasty also brings with it a whole new vibe. Spring feels dewy and new, winter feels cold and barren, and autumn brings with it these beautiful neutral colours. If the game did one thing perfectly, it was this. Onto sound design, and wow, they really nailed the dying animal sound. Totally could have gone without that, but the wild animal sounds you'll hear in the distance as you're out exploring really added to the immersive feeling. In terms of performance, the game is a little rough around the edges. I experienced some graphical glitches here and there, and also some trouble scrolling in the quest menu. My game also crashed once, but the game had autosaved for me literally 5 seconds before, so it didn't cause any issues. Other than that, from what I can surmise from what this game used to be like in early access, performance has improved tenfold. Now onto some tips to help you if you decide to play the game. Firstly, I recommend you start building near the town of Gostovia, the town you start off in. There's quite a few quests that you need to do there, and there's also easy access to shops, straw, and water. Plus, you can always choose to move somewhere else later on when you get your bearings. Also, don't be afraid to tweak with those game customization settings. For real, if that's what's going to make you enjoy the game, tweak the hell out of it. Sometimes I was playing and couldn't be bothered gathering food, so I turned that off for myself and the town. And to be honest, most of the time I also had it set to low damage. There is no better feeling than getting into a fist fight with a bear and winning. As for money, it's very hard to come by in Medieval Dynasty. I recommend you sell any weapons and tools that you find that are made out of metal. You can easily get a few hundred for one, so it's easy cash. Crafting items is also a great way to make money once you build some workshops, especially for items that only require simple resources like sticks to make. Side quests can also reward money or items that you can sell for money, so another handy way to earn cash when you first start out. Medieval Dynasty is hard, and I'm beginning to think that's just the standard for all medieval games. But as it always goes, the harder the game is, the more satisfying it is when you finally start figuring it out and making your way in the world. I found the first few hours tough and confusing, but I spent the remainder of my time addicted. Who doesn't love a good town management game? I did find it detailed in many parts, but also kind of basic in others, so if you're expecting AAA quality here, then you will likely be disappointed. But a lot of love and creativity has gone into Medieval Dynasty, and it definitely shows. If you're a fan of medieval games like myself and love a bit of town management and survival on the side, this is your game. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like or comment if you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!